Alright, the test is tomorrow. We need to make sure that we are studying this, make sure we have all the correct answers. Number 1, it says to evaluate 3 to the 4th. So by evaluate, that means you are telling me what is 3 to the 4th. So remember, you're multiplying that base of 3 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which should give you an answer of 81. Yes, ma'am? I'm good with just the answer on that one. Number 2, it says, how do you write 15 times 15 times 15 in exponential form? So that 15 is your base, and then however many 15s you have, that is your exponent. So you should have 15 to the 4th power. Number 3, we should know this from our test yesterday. Square root of 17 should be 289. Number 4, square root of 225 is 15. Yes, ma'am.
I thought it was like to write like 17 to the power of 2, but like I didn't know you had like solved it.
Yeah, if it's asking what is the square of 17, unless it says to give me my answer in exponents, I want you to go ahead and give me that number. Okay. So unless it says using exponents, give me the number. Okay. All right, number 5. I cannot see my screen up there. What is the value of 21 plus 8 divided by 2? So you're using those order of operations. So you have to divide by 2 first. So 8 divided by 2 gives you 4. Then add 21 to that. So you should get 25. Number 6, you're evaluating as well. So the first thing you have to do there is find that square root. If I can get it all over there. So the square root of 169 is 13. Then you need to do everything inside those parentheses. So you should have 13 plus 3 times 8 minus 8. Then you have to do that 3 times 8, which gives you 24. And then you have 13 plus 24 minus 8. So from there, I work the problem from left to right. I do not subtract first. Okay? I'm working the problem from left to right, because all I have is addition and subtraction. So you should have 37 minus 8, which gives you 29. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, number 7. What is the value of 125 minus 5 squared times 5? So the first thing I have to do is evaluate the 5 squared, which gives me 25. And then I have to multiply that by 5. So 125 minus 125 gives you 0. Number 8, parentheses first. So you should add to get 28, then divide, and then add. So final answer is 28. You got to remember those order of operations. Questions so far? Good? Okay. Number 9, what is the value of 50 minus 36 divided by 6? So using the order of operations, that tells me I have to divide first and then subtract. So you should get 44. Number 10, you're dividing first. So you get 38 minus 6 plus 12. Now all you have is subtraction and addition. So you're working the problem left to right. So you're going to subtract first and then add. So 44 again. Number 11 through 15, you're evaluating as well. Whoops, wrong button. So number 11, multiply and then subtract, you should get 52. Number 12, you've got to do that exponent. So 4 squared gives you 16, minus, inside those parentheses, you have to multiply first and then subtract. So your final answer should be 3. Remember why it's important for us to be showing this work, especially on our test tomorrow? If you show all your work but give me the wrong answer and your steps are for the most part right, are you still getting all your points counted off? No, I will most likely give you some partial credit, okay? So if you show me all these steps, but you make a tiny mistake in there, you're still going to get some points. But if you don't show me any of this and you just give me the wrong answer, it's just all completely wrong, okay? Bye. Okay. Oh. Better? 14 should be 74. Remember, don't ever multiply your base times that exponent. So 2 to the 4th, you should never do 2 times 4 and give me 8. That means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, please do not make that mistake tomorrow. And then that last one, number 15, answer should be 18. Questions on any of those? We good so far? Getting them correct for the most part? Questions on any of this front side? Yes.
Remember 8 times 15 is like you do the square first. Like I done the square inside the parentheses first. And then I've done the parentheses. Do I have to do the 9 before I do the parentheses?
No. As long as you get everything in those parentheses done correctly and then you multiply by the square root of 9, you're fine. Okay. Alright, flip it over. Moving on to numerical expressions. So number 16 and 16 through 18, you're given a verbal phrase. You're changing it to a numerical expression. So 36 increased by 4, increase means plus. So 36 plus 4. 17, the difference of 18 and 3, that should be 18 minus 3. And then number 18, Alicia rented bowling shoes for $2.50 and played 3 games at $2 each. Write an expression for the total cost. So, remember, we did one of these on our homework. She paid $2.50 for the shoes, and she wore those shoes for all the games that she played. So she didn't have to pay $2.50 for her shoes each game. She just paid a flat $2.50 for her shoes. And then she played 3 games, but she had to pay $2 for each game. So that means to multiply. Yes.
When it said write an expression for the total cost of bowling, would that mean that's evaluating?
No. Write an expression means just the expression. If it said to write an expression and then tell me the total cost, then you would give me this plus the total cost. But unless it tells you to evaluate somewhere in there, you're just giving me the expression. Okay, I'm glad you asked that. Yes?
On number 20, isn't it catching it 6 plus 7 times 11 and parentheses?
It is. Yeah, so 19, 32 minus n, 6 more than 7 times a number. So remember that more than tells me that I can flip it around too, right? So if you gave me 6 plus 7n, or 7 times n, or if you gave me 7n plus 6, either one of those is correct. If you did a multiplication sign in between the 7 and the n, or if you put them in parentheses, or if you put a dot, any of that all means multiply, okay? So it doesn't matter. If it looks a little different, as long as it still means 6 plus 7 times n, you're fine. Yes, sir? Yeah. Okay. Where am I? I can't see. Okay, scroll up. There we go. Alright, so 21, I have, I'm substituting. So they tell you what A and what B are. So you're just plugging in the numbers for A and the numbers for B and then using those order of operations. So you should get 30. Same for number 22. You're plugging those numbers in. So you should get 8. Number 23, you're naming the property. So what I did here is I grouped 3 and 8 on the right, on the left-hand side, but on the right-hand side I grouped 8 and 14. So that's your associative property of what?
Addition.
Of addition, which it already says name the property of addition. So we know it's of addition. It's the associative property of addition. Okay. Remember, if you're changing those parentheses, it's associative. But if you just flip the order of the numbers, what is it? Commutative. Remember the order, if you're rearranging the order, it's commutative. But if you're rearranging the grouping, the parentheses, it's associative. Okay. Number 24, you have 7 times 1 equals 7. That is your identity property of multiplication. Number 25, you are using that distributive property to give me an equivalent expression, and you're evaluating it. So you should have 2 answers. So your equivalent expression should be 2 times 7 plus 2 times 5. And then once you evaluate it, it should be 24. Okay. So remember, you are distributing that 2 to the 7, meaning it's multiplied, 2 times 7. You keep the addition sign, and then you're also multiplying 2 times 5. Okay. Alright, and then the last ones, I used this copy from last year, so I do not have the other ones on there. Number 26, I think it gave you a verbal phrase, right? Somebody want to read that for me? What number 26 says? The question. What is it, Wyatt?
Give an algebraic expression for the variable phrase, the product of 4.5, and the difference of 6 and 9.
Okay, thank you. So the product of 4.5 and the difference of 6 and a number. Okay, so that's telling me I'm multiplying 4 times 5 times, in parentheses, 6 minus n. If it says the difference of 6 minus n, that means I would have to subtract first before I can multiply by 4.5. So it's very important that you have that in parentheses. Because if I didn't have that in parentheses, well, I guess it still would be the same as long as you put a multiplication sign in there. No, it wouldn't. If you don't have it in parentheses, you would multiply the 4.5 times 6 first, right? And then subtract in, but that's not what they want you to do. So that's why you have to put those parentheses so that it tells you subtract first and then multiply. Okay. Number 27, remember that new property I forgot to tell y'all about on the very first day. A number multiplied by 0 gives you 0. That is your 0 property. Okay. Number 28 should be the associative property of multiplication. Number 29, I think that was just the square root of 144, right? So that is 12. And then number 30, Manny, can I borrow your paper so we can see that? It's asking you to find the mistake. So, here's our problem. Looking at that, what did he do wrong? 40. How did he get 40? What did he do? He multiplied his base times his exponent, which is never okay. Remember that means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So instead of 40, what should he have put there? 10,000. Everything else he did correctly, but he did not evaluate 10 to the 4th correct. Okay. Questions on any of that? We feel good about our test tomorrow? No. Naya, was that you? I guess we got some studying to do then, huh?